So we need to find out the value of the given trigonometric expression. So let us begin. Now clearly in the numerator we have is the product of a sine function with a cosine function, and in the denominator we have the product of sine with sine and product of cosine and cosine. So here we'll be using the transformation formula as shown here to convert each of the product to its corresponding sum or difference. For example, if we have the product sine A cosine B, so it transforms as a sum of two sine function. Let's say if we have 2 times cosine of A cosine of B, it transforms as a sum of two cosine function. So let us begin. However, we have a factor 2 missing here, so that's fine. All we have to do is multiply and divide by 2. So we get 2 times sine of angle 3A times cosine of angle 4A minus we have 2 times sine of angle A times cosine of angle 2A divided by, then in the denominator we have 2 times sine of angle 4A multiplied to sine of angle A plus 2 times cosine of angle 6A multiplied to cosine of angle A. Now for the first term in the numerator, 2 sine 3A cosine 4A, we're going to apply the second transformation formula. The reasoning that we will use here, if we see that angle of cosine is 4A, whereas the angle of sine is 3A. Magnitude wise, 4A is greater than 3A. So we will be using the second transformation formula. So that means we'll convert this product into the difference of sine function. So we have sine of angle, we have 4A plus 3A, so that's going to be 7A minus sine of the difference of the angle 4A minus 3A, that's going to be simply A. Fine. Minus we have 2 sine A cosine 2A, same scenario we will use, that 2A is greater than A. So we have sine of angle 3A minus sine of angle A divided by, now we have 2 times sine 4A times sine A. So this is the product of two sine function. It's going to transform as the difference of the cosine function. So we get cosine of angle A minus B. So 4A minus A will be 3A minus cosine of angle 4A plus A. So that's 5A. Added to, now we have the product of two cosine function, which is going to transform as the sum of two cosine function. So we have cosine of angle 6A plus A, that's going to be 7A, added to cosine of 6A minus A, so that's 5A. Now clearly some of the terms will get cancelled out. In the numerator we have sine A cancelling out, so we are left with sine 7A minus sine angle 3A whole divided by, we have cosine of 5A cancelling out, so we are left with cosine of 3A plus cosine of angle 7A. Now what we have here is the difference of two sine function in the numerator, and we have the sum of two cosine functions in the denominator. Now what we have to do, we'll have to use the transformation formula in the reverse way, meaning if we have the difference of two sine function, that means sine alpha minus sine beta, it's going to transform as 2 times cosine of angle alpha plus beta over 2 multiplied to sine of angle alpha minus beta over 2. And if we have cosine of alpha plus cosine of beta, that means the sum of two cosine function is going to transform as the product of two cosine functions. So we get 2 times cosine of alpha plus beta over 2 multiplied to cosine of alpha minus beta over 2. So let's apply this formula. So we're going to get for the numerator part, we have 2 times cosine of angle. So 7A plus 3A, that's going to be 10A. 10A divided by 2 is going to give us 5A multiplied to sine of the difference of the angle. So 7A minus 3A will be 4A. 4A divided by 2 will be 2A whole divided by, now we have the sum of two cosine functions. So we get 2 times cosine of 10A over 2. So that's 5A multiplied to cosine of angle. So 3A minus 7A, that's going to be negative 4A, but cosine is an even function, so we'll only consider the positive value. So we have cosine of angle 2A. So we can factor out 2 cosine 5A from the numerator and the denominator, and this ratio is nothing but tangent of angle 2A. Therefore, the value of the given trigonometric expression is going to be equals to tangent of 2A.